Hello and welcome back. Chris here. We are going to learn today about the simple present or present simple. They are the same. Now, today we have to work basically with I, you, we, and they. I, you, we, and they. Why only these ones? Because there are different rules for he, she, it. So today only I, you, we, and they. Now, we use the simple present for facts that are always true. The sun rises, the sun sets, the water boils, and the moon rises, and we have stars. So things that are always there that do not change go with a simple present. Things that we don't expect to change, like I live in Peru. I'm not planning to move to another country, so we don't expect to change that. For feelings, for example, feel, hate, like, love, prefer, want. I like to listen to music. I like to read books. So feelings and what we like, what we want. For thoughts and ideas, agree, believe, to know, mean. I know that every day we have to study a little bit. For example. Now, how to use it? Remember, we are working with I, you, we, and they. For the affirmative sentence, we have to remember this. We have the subject, the verb, and the object, or the complement. I study, for example. I study hard. There we have subject, verb, and object or complement. You study. You study hard. We study. We study hard. They study. They study hard. So the verb is study and it doesn't change with I, you, we, and they. We just put the verb in the middle of the sentence in the place where it should go, and we are not going to make any changes. So when we talk about negatives, we're going to have subject, do, not, the verb, and the object. The word do can be an auxiliary verb or a verb. So sometimes it has full meaning, verb do, and sometimes it tells us this is a negative sentence or this is a question in the simple present when it works as an auxiliary verb. So let's see. I do not study. I do not study hard. You do not. You do not study hard. We do not. We do not study hard. They do not. They do not study hard. So once again, we have the verb, and just before the verb, we have do not. Do not for the negative. But sometimes we have the contractions. So how to have that do not as a contraction? I do not study. I don't study hard. You don't study hard. So do not changes to don't. We don't study hard. They don't study hard. So that do not change to don't. Do not or don't, they're the same. They have the same meaning. It is expected you use the contraction. It is better if you use don't. So what happens when we have questions? When we have questions, once again, we are going to have something before the subject. In this case, we are going to use do. Do, subject, verb, and object. We start with do. Subject, verb, object. So what happens? Do I study? Do I study hard? Pay attention to the inflections. It's not the same to say I study hard to ask, do I study hard? Do you? Do you study hard? Do we? Do we study hard? Do they? Do they study hard? So here we have the questions. See that we have do before the subject. So now how to answer to those questions? We're going to see yes and no answers. Do I study hard? Yes, you do. No, you don't. Remember, we said before in a previous video that usually if we ask with I, the answer is you. If the question is you, we answer with I. Do you study hard? Yes, I do. Or no, I don't. Maybe yes, we do, or no, we don't. Do we study hard? Yes, you do. No, you don't. Do they study hard? Yes, they do. No, they don't. Now, we have to check on question words because we also have information questions. Yes or no questions, as we said, are going to ask for a yes or a no, but information questions are going to require a bit more. Who? Ask for a person. Where? We want to know a place. Why? We need a reason. When? A time. How? A manner. So, who for a person, where for a place, why for a reason, when for a time, how for a manner. But they are not the only ones. What for an object, idea, or action. Which for a choice. Whose for a possession. What time for a time. What kind for a description. Last but not least, we're going to be checking on how combinations. How many for a countable quantity. How much for an uncountable quantity. How long, duration or length. How often, frequency. How far, distance. How old, age. So the word how, yes, it asks for a manner, but if it goes with another word, the meaning changes. When we want to talk about questions when we want to talk about WH questions, we have the WH word, do, the auxiliary verb, you, and the verb. What do you study? I study law. Where do you study? I study at, and we give a place. How do you go to study? I go to study by bus, by car, by bicycle. When do you go to study? I study in the morning, or I study in the afternoon. Thanks a lot. That's it for this lesson. I hope you learned a lot. Don't forget, like, subscribe, and see you next time.